Hello everyone. How y'all doing? Oh shit. Diva, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. 7 months, that's a very long time. Taxi is cool, 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 taxi is cool. Cool, cool. P.S. Danny's cute. It's true. Danny is cute. I don't know about the other part. Thank you, Diva. Yeah. Blue-eyed Pup, congrats on first. And Bumflop, how are you? Diva, how are you? Danny-kun, hello, how are you? And Ripple. Oh, why am I getting bonked already? Why are you? Oh, you're bonking Diva, okay. Lapsword, Ripple, how are you guys? I don't think I missed anyone. How are you guys doing? Look at the screen. I didn't realize the background changed. I guess based on chapter you're on. But look, we got Mr. Sholmes's house. Very cool. Wait, what? you Why are you talking about soggy sayers? What is wrong with my chat? Love rooms in that aesthetic, worldly knickknacks. It's such a nice house. Don't rate it tag 0. This is... Don't know how I feel about my chat today. Might just go offline. Goodbye, everyone. Is it safe? Is it safe? Ban lapsod. No. Let's behave yourselves. But yeah, how is everyone? How's everyone doing? I had a very fun weekend. I got to see Miss Ripple and Mr. Tubers. Whoa. When you bonk other people, Danikon, it also bonks me. Directly. I'm hurting. Imagine using water as a dip for jads. It's terrible. Yeah, I had lots of fun. Saw lots of people, lots of friends. It was basically like a Twitch meetup. It was very cool. Saw Miss Kate. Saw Veritas, saw Kentra, saw Melon, saw many friends. Glad you could see Taxi. I'm glad I could see Ripple. It was very nice. It has been a while. It has been a while. I don't go out often. I'm getting my second vaccine tomorrow. So, hopefully when I'm vaccinated, there'll be more things I'll feel comfortable doing. It's like at the moment, it's like, yeah, we can go out places, but it makes me very anxious. I feel incredibly guilty going places, basically. But I think when I'm fully vaccinated, that'll change. I'll feel a bit safer and less guilty. Yeah, we're gonna be playing more Ace Attorney. I think we're on the, was it the 4th case? Anyway, we met Miss Iris Watson. We saw her earlier. And I think we're still looking for Sholmes. I'm not sure what we're doing. Happy birthday, Taxi! It's yes. Sure. Thank you. All right. We're gonna do it. We're gonna play. It's birthday streams all day. I don't even... Maybe it's an Ace Attorney character's birthday. Maybe. Briar Road. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on their investigation. Hello, Lady Ma. Perfect, let's go find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Oh yeah, she sent us a bribe to give to him, that's right. Oh, he got his fish and chippies. They look more like wedges though, actually. Now that I'm looking directly at them. They look a bit rustic. Rustic chippies. Present. Iris's postcard. Card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from Iris. Let's examine it. What do we got here? This is a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want just with a single one. Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well... It's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. That's greasy. Infinite fish and chips. Oh, he's gonna need this. Gonna need this shilling. Such a cute little card. Ah. Iris's little handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust it won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it. You don't think I will just make him munch piping hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. That's the neatest handwriting from a 10-year-old I've ever seen. What if you rinse the fruit in water? Diva! I saw this one TikTok, and it obviously was from an account that doesn't show them washing their rice in their recipes that they make. And they must get a lot of comments about saying, wash your rice, you know, give your rice a rinse and stuff like that. And then they made this TikTok that was just them, you know, putting dish soap in the rice and washing it with that. So yeah, soap might help. Alright. Oh, we're gonna present that to him. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? A ladyship. Gregson is a simp. She's 10, Danny-kun. Saw someone do that with chicken. Wash it with soap. What the fuck? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well... It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right, for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for you. Never mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? This is what Professor Layton looks like these days. This is the Ace Attorney spin-off prequel. It's really good. How you doing, Willow? She washed a whole raw chicken under the sink and squirted dish soap. What the fuck, Diva? Who does that? Was that real? Is that show scripted? I have no idea about it. The first thing you want to taste when I'm biting two chickens, bitter taste of soap. Ah. Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. I think it was real since it was the first season. Oh, okay. Way back in the 2000s. Yeah, I thought it was a reality TV show, but I've never seen it. You're good? That's good. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel just over there, look. Oh, he lives there. Oh, you poor man. On the first floor of that house was a corner where that wrecked bicycle where a wreck of a bicycle's popped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightfully, the landlord is a Mr. John Garadeb. Right, well, if you see her again, make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. Aww. Aww. You've never seen it before? Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I probably would have been too young to even find any sort of entertainment from that. Because, like, as you get older, you kind of, like, I think get more entertainment about that sort of reality TV. Not that I watch it now anyway, but like I can understand people getting into it, but I would have been a child back then, so like it's kind of, I think that sort of television goes over your head as to why it could be entertaining. Well, at least he told us what he wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Alright. Do we inspect it? It's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly has taken a toll on this place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks decidedly worse shaped than the other houses around here. According to Inspector Gregson, that's the house where Mr. Natsume has his lodgings. Just across the road from where the incident took place, I see. Must be awful for Soseki-san getting caught up in something like this in a foreign land. Alright, I guess we can move that now. New location has been added. Hey Nova, how are you? We only just started, you're not late. Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Hello? May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garadeb? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Runosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing the Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadeb. Did you see that, Mr. Soto? That was a real-life English maid. I know, as I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. There was a maid in their jury last trial. What the fuck are you talking about? What are they talking about? Choose a game is 40k now. Yeah, it had to go up in price. People had too many points. What were you gonna redeem, Nova? It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? You want the emote? Do you have an idea, Diva? Supply and demand, yeah. Yeah, it, especially if, like, like, if I play more than a single stream of a game, I think, like, 20k or whatever it was previously was too cheap. Yeah, 51.9k, but you don't want to use it yet. What are you wanting to spend it on, Ripple? About to get some Maccas. Is it Mackey's Monday for you, Nova? We only need to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garadeb will see you now. This way. There he is. He just appeared. Have a look at their room first. The cannon. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my. It's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Bah, that's a little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? Isn't it overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there might be trouble brewing, Mr. Garadeb? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon here, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. Headpats all stream. Indecisive, so just waiting to see if you release another big ticket item. I have no plans at the moment, but I'll have a think. The man's head looks like a crescent moon. It does! It does look like a moon. Or a boomerang. Oh yeah! We got like a, yeah, like a sunflower looking thing and a moon looking guy. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after though. That old thing? Huh, not much better than rags, really. Oh? Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past. On the past me. Would have gladly thrown it out. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the old piece of memorabilia lying around, doesn't it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. The fuck are these? Giant bullets? Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. Ah, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Ah, those old things? A couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during my training, you know. Became a bit of a colourful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron after all, usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Joan here did manage to knock one of the belly things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no. Hadn't shed a tear since 1869. Before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away. I guess he's kind of a hoarder of things. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased in a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What, that old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it, keeps the belly thing out of my way. It's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself, look. Let me see, it says, for distinguished participation. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. It's a fucking participation reward. Hey, poor boy, how are you? Well, one doesn't like to blow his own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals on his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Is it? That portrait of Mr. Garadeb is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garadeb as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a belly wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now that I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Tusato-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter. Doing good, how about yourself? I'm doing well, thank you. Just vibing with some Ace Attorney tonight. Have some Diet Coke. Doing good. Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Ahem, ahem. Maybe let's not, Miss Susato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem. Oh, we got a second side of it. What do we got here? What is that? That's something sus. Why can't I inspect that? Show me what it is. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a candlestick. Candle from the candlestick holder missing. This old candle holder looks a bit out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing? Yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack? I don't know how to pronounce that. Really? Oh. Used it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but well, it still has its uses sometimes. Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo, memories. Sauce. Oh, look. What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up in that gleaming silver cake stand. That motherfucker the moon. Yeah, he is the moon. How you doing, Smug? Technically not till tomorrow, but vaccine and not streaming. Yeah. What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. lined up. It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It's quite the English way. It is Mr. Garadeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. It sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, and I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garadeb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous? I don't know how to pronounce that. No taxi stream either? I will see. I might be fine, who knows? But yeah, I have my vaccine tomorrow, so I might not be streaming if I don't feel well. Magnanimous. I don't know, I can't pronounce that word. Too many N's and M's in there. It's confusing. Good luck with the vaccine. Everybody in my family has a 0 reaction. Oh, that's lucky. Yeah, it seems to be like some people... I think most people do okay. But like, some people have had like fevers and just feeling run down and stuff like that. So it's like, if I'm feeling not the best, I kind of might not stream. Might just nap all day. Nap all afternoon. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... oh dear. It's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yes, probably something like that, but let's not delve too deeply here. Alright. The window looks over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Is this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. London winter. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. Okay. I think we've looked at everything in the room. Good day to you, John Garadeb at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruto. We have just been looking in your room for the last 20 minutes. And now I'm just introducing ourselves. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me for not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maywand? Don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from the service. Whoops. Whoops. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. Yeah, he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and down the stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the 2nd floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garadeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just... folderol? Really? Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly display it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Ah! Dash it, woman, be careful. Oh, dearie me, I beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we'd be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only two, please, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blightly. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you are aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, wouldn't you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but... you have a copy of Rant's magazine here, so... No, oh, he's sus. Anyway, the chap investigating the foreigner... oh. It was her. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. Oh, we get to see Herlock. It's a bally nuisance, that's what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Alright. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garadeb, please do tell us. Ah yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved here very recently then. I have 2 lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see, and they've been... ah! Dash it all, Joan, do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Why'd she keep doing that? He hasn't even drank his tea. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh? Why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. I won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? You like her? I do as well. Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything else at your lodger, about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes, the man... oh my god, my throat today. I think it's a bit, hoarse from, Amy's yesterday. Doing, like, the wordicals and having to talk very loudly because it was loud. My throat keeps, like, I don't know, seizing up on me. I don't know how to explain it. Why did I have to play a talking game? A reading game? Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed around 9 each night, but I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes, they're both below us, on the first floor and street level. He is sweating. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. No, stop doing that. It's upsetting me. Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. They're a little sus, actually. Hello, tubers. How are you? It seems that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. There wasn't anyone... Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garadub household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir, it would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes? Was there something then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but at around that sort... For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing! Oh dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrowholo. Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garadub? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just... Okay, She is stopping him to talk. Stopping him talking. Damn, Narrowholo, what a good name. You just had your Japanese lesson. Was it good? Joan, dash it all. What's the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Oops. Yes, quiet. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Garadub. What is the matter with these two? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Anything else here? There's this sus thing on the wall. But also... What about... Oh, it's all burnt there. Or something. Something sus over there. Maybe they accidentally shot something out at the woman onto the street by accident. It was Subarashi, as the kids say. The kids don't say that. Sure weebs do. Could you tell us what floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Certainly, it's just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak? Yes, told me Natsu's name had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak to Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to help us more. Alright, let's go see Mr. Sholmes. You absolutely said the cringiest weeb shit as a kid and also as an adult. Definitely. Oh, cat! There's a cat! Oh! Cat! Oh my god! I want to pet it. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. So musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Do you want to touch the cat? I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? He is like fucking on the ceiling. You know that scene in Spider-Verse where they're all like hiding in the corner of the room? That is Mr. Sholmes right now, I bet. No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garadeb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Mr. Sholmes is the cat. He is the cat. No, he's in his bag. This is his bag here. He is in there. Hello. Oh, I love you. No, come back. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master's away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into a pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mickey, was it? Did they even have that sort of cat here in Japan? In Great... That was not the wrong country. That was the wrong country I read. I was about to say Japan. It said Great Britain. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I wanted to come back, Denikun. Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Yeah, but you've also been on the boat for 50 days, haven't you? Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them, in English. Looks like it was waste paper baskets so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? Or deeply advised to tidying up his mess. I wouldn't like to spectate which is closer to the truth. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruto. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling aboard. I wanted a lucky charm. Oh my god, I love him. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. Not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Sus. Sus thing. This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins in here too. Ah, I believe that's a gas meter, Mr. Naruto. A gas meter? Yes, it seems that there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So, if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night. So, if you're too poor to have a coin, you have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes. Ugh, London's a scary place. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit here and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name's on it. Look at the date of the purchase. Ah, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Second-hand book receipt has been entered to the court record. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books at hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile will ever be read again. So reading is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremonies philosophy. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that it remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? Why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? Hey Vito, how are you? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah, perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on a fit of whimsy. That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. If they use like gas for the lighting and the heating, couldn't you get like, is it like carbon monoxide poisoning or whatever? If the room is completely sealed up as well, like, maybe that's why he's so stressed. Oh, there he is. Hello, sir. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. How's our good friend with the flowing headband? Peter, don't remind us. It was very common. Ah. Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. That's the theory why Victorian London was full of haunting stories. Ah! Because they're all fucking... Yeah. All fucking, like, hallucinating and shit. Not hallucinating, like... I don't know. Do you hallucinate with carbon monoxide poisoning? I think it's like a kind of slight hallucinogen. Because you, like, have low oxygen, you kind of... Your brain's not working well. Yeah, you can. That would make a lot of sense, Diva. All the fog and dodgy people in the streets, yeah. He seems to be engrossed in the pages of that old book. I hope you won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, you two, good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Sogi. He died, tragically. Vito, you had to fucking bring him up. You had to bring him up, and now we need to experience it again. All the shit on the street. E. Yeah, I blame Vito as well. It was Kazuma Sogi. He died, tragically, but you were a great help to us. Ah yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Osogi. I was the one with the... It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh. Well, you seem to remember some of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Sherlock Holmes. This is Mr... Oh no. Oh no, my dear madame, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain, addict. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. Ahahaha. I lose the first round. She is fangirling hard. Human shit too, since there were no sewers. Oh god. There were sewers in Victorian England? Really? He is tall. Wonder how tall Sherlock Holmes is. I wonder if there's like a height thing. How tall is Sherlock Holmes? Ace Attorney. Nah, dunno. Dunno how tall he is. I wish I knew. He looks like a tall man. There's probably like official art of him next to Ryunosuke. Victorian embarkment was officially opened on the 13th of July 1870. The intercepting sewers constructed between 1859 and 1865 were fed by 450 miles of main sewers that in turn conveyed the contents of some 13,000 miles of smaller local sewers. Whoa! That's very cool. I didn't know that they were that old. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London, but some Scotland Yarders ambushed me on the at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. He wanted to invite them over on the first day. Whoa. Whoa. Wanted to bring them back to his house. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved it in no more than 30 minutes. They apprehended Soseki-san in that short amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of imitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but unfortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Alright. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes. The stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking at Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning innocence. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detectives at Scotland Yard made the following request for me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There are a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think that's Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is a trove of fascinating books. I found myself quite lost in bibliophily? Sure. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may be well aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so, conversely, whether or not a household employee's maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Token their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea, and it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs, specifically in the retired army veteran Mr. John Garadeb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in place such as this will I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume hasn't stabbed no one. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there's a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here, there, everywhere, in an effort to curry favour with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. How the fuck is that a thing? How is this a thing? Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered to an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that is correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is sort of... That is of little relevance here, a matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Some wets, thank you. I might actually have a quick break soon. Because I don't actually have any water with me, I only have Diet Coke. Thank you, Nova. I will actually get some water soon. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Wasn't it your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services? Oh, I don't have my drink. Luke came in looking for my glass so he could refill it, but I don't have one. Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? The occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. And so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Thank you. I will have proper wets now. I have water. Yeah. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but... I thought that's why you were here. Didn't come back to investigate? Vito, thank you also for the wets. And posture check. I will sit up properly. And save the game. All of them. Thank you so much. There's the wets. And I'm sitting up properly. And... saved. Thank you so much, Peter. I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah yes, that was indeed my initial intention. You only have one save file? Why do I need more? You worry. You worried that I'm gonna, like, wipe it somehow. That was indeed my initial intention, but there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are true facts that I can state quite unequivocally. You always have at least 3? Unless the game doesn't allow for it. I literally don't think about that. I always just... It depends on the game, actually. With Ace Attorney, I never have a second save file. Like, I never bother. The true facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That's all I can say. You've soft-locked yourself in one too many video games? Luckily, I think with this game, you'd be able to, at least select the chapter again if anything happened. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garadeb is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet, our investigations haven't covered nothing that could help us establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadeb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Is there anything over this side? We didn't actually get to look at a little thing. Seems very dangerous to use the, use a candle right next to all those books. I want to find Cat. Where are you? Where are you? I think we've looked at everything. Alright. You don't like Sholmes? How come? Ah, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Mr. Herlock Sholmes? Ah yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. He's weird, these two are weirder though. I think Sholmes is quirky. Another cup of tea if you please, Joan. These two are sus. For the up-tenth time, woman, will you watch what your belly while doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Rightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you'd be so kind. Oh yes, of course. We're deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourself. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck, all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadev is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Does that mean... Oh my god, I see him there. I see him there. Sir? Sir? When did you get in here? I love him so much. How can you not like him, Vito? What is he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Look at this hazard of a man. Aha, we meet again, my dear fellows. Gracious, when did you sneak in here? Sherlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever you're doing by the window, I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. Yet sadly, cheerful as a room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture of such observation. He's an accident waiting to happen. He fucking is. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up there. He is like an ADHD king. I love him so much. Well, keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. An ADHD king. Like, he's amazing. I love him. And one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect him to be going through that again so soon. Oh, we're gonna be doing some, Oh god, what was it called? I can't remember what this segment was called. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There's just time enough for my greatly admired great deduction, that's it. His great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. I love him. Mr. Garadev. Though it would seem you're a military man of considerably distinguished service. Now that you're done with Metroid, you'll try and get this game? It's fun, Vito! You haven't finished the trilogy yet. You've never finished the trilogy? Or like, you haven't finished playing it on Switch? Your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. You're still in game 2. Ah! I don't think you'd need to complete the trilogy to play this game, though. Only ever beat the first game. Fair enough. You love Mia? I love Mia as well. Back on the Wii days, you started game 2? I think the second game... I think the second game in the first trilogy is the weakest one of the 3. But it's still fun. It has fun cases. You finished the circus case. I think that's my least favorite one on the trilogy. On the, game 2. It's good? Really? I won't spoil things, but I think that's my least favorite one, in the second game. The ending's good. I don't know, I didn't really like the characters too much. Of the case, yeah. There's some... I can't say much because, me and Maher are going to be playing Ace Attorney 2 on Thursdays. Spoilers, Vito! I can't delete your message. Mods, please. I can't, my things aren't showing. Mod icons, there we go. Thank you. Better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm currently playing the second game on Thursday nights on Maho's channel. Hang on. Reminder to everyone. Reminder to everyone. Thursday nights, Ace Attorney 2 on Magical Girl Plays channel. We play Ace Attorney 2. Bum was saying bedwetter. Vito is a bedwetter. Alright, great deduction time. Your standing as a landlord is the most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that this is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I've been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon? The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look. The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sham's conclusions are both spot on. How so? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Yes. You don't have a bed, Vito? Are you okay? A futon. Oh no. He's a futon pisser. And I know only too well that the wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Yes. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. Sorry. That a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might the beast take? For a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast has run rampant in here is revealed to be that lion statue. Yes. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this prideful, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Yet, living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. Chilling traces of a wild rampage are very much in evidence. Well... Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me that with one glance in your direction... It is? Your dress pocket gives a handsome clue to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from a But protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah. Oh god, Vito, what the fuck? Why are you predicting shit? What the fuck? This is the second time, Vito! You outright banned him that time. Yes, you sought to dispose of This is so stupid. You thought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garadeb. At Batty's Circus. Not Big Top Circus, Batty's Circus. You've never been banned before? A traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. Circus troupe. Circus troupe. Is that what I said? Glad he was your first. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus will now reveal the lion prancing jubilanti through the ring of fire. These are really awkward, awkward kind of style of game. I don't know. I'm not sure how much I vibe with this gameplay segment. Now, Mr. Garadeb. I love Sharms, but it's just awkward. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. It's probably fine if you're reading it yourself, but like to read it out, it's really awkward. You don't really like him pointing it all out? Yeah. The deduction thing. Yeah, I think it'd be fine if I was just playing the game, but to read this out and then correct the deduction is really awkward to read out, if that makes sense. Because you're reading something that is really wrong. Like it's incorrect and it doesn't feel correct to read out. Indeed, in that black pose, the distress this loss has caused you is vertibly tangible. Do all the wrong things in a funny voice. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders. The pain you feel revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you led your beloved beast to go. The stain on losing someone... Oh god, I keep yawning. The stain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what, must we ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is the pile of bills that have given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Sholmes has Rules card vibes with how he talks. Oh my god, I see that. He feels like one professor from when you were doing a master's degree. She loved talking using complicated words and would repeat what she said in simple terms just to be awful. Yeah, I feel like a lot of this game has used a lot of complicated words that like probably are a bit out of fashion. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think those words actually lend to the vibe of it, but I can see why they wanted to do it. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath, which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. Very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah. This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you that has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes. Ah. There's no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they had no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tried the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final attack of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. Yep. The teeth marks on the carpet, a perfect match to those of a lion I once saw in India. Yeah, what the fuck? Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Yep. What is wrong with this guy? Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle. I do worry about him. He is pog-champing. What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garadeb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. He's too tall and his brain isn't oxygenated enough. Doesn't help that he hung around in that room with carbon monoxide poisoning. It's attributed mostly to Marie Antoinette, but I think it's debated. Yeah, I don't know. I know it from... I assume it would be that, but... I don't know. I don't even know if the quote is correct. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it, again? Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garadeb and his maid would have been hurt or worse. Ah, that's where you're stuck. That's where you were stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I've ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Mr. Soto. It occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. It's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sherm's deductions need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes's logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction! Yay! It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. True nature of the beast has run rampant here, revealed by that lion statue. That is not correct. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garadeb's reaction, it rather seems as though the beast did indeed run amok. Some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been the lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garadeb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. Aha! What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garadeb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not delve too deeply here. Newlywed bride. Glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. And no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower here. Horsepower there, not something you'd want to be upset. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Ah, it was her. Oh look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
Take that!
True nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Can you do it? Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garadeb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Why are they using horsepower? Like, maybe 0.1 of a horsepower. Oh, indeed, surely anyone with such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late, the fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garadeb. Ah. Wait, does he have a slap on his face? chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well... Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Yeah, he has a slap mark on his face. And that's why he's been facing that side the entire time. As we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Dress pocket gives a handsome clue as to who the... yeah. Is not it. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of Mrs. Garrideb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Oh, she got pigtails behind her. That's very cute. Very cute. Does she have the ring on? Oh, there we go. I was trying to see through the text box. Wait, I wanted to see the slap on his face. I didn't even look at that. He's wearing a very large ring, look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. Looks like it's on there for life, too. Can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not say. Do you know Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? There's a large sunflower design as well. You just thought he wanted to look like a moon? I think that is the point, but also he seems to be hiding a slap mark as well. Really? You have great memory of these things. A large sunflower wedding ring. Quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? Where's your slap? There it is! There it is! How can she slap? How can she slap? Really annoying to get the angle again.
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah. Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown of the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You're Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my. Word! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly summarized, this is my wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a... It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? Not right, I tell you. I was a second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it is a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Garadeb... Mr. Garadeb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garadeb? Only in company, obviously, but listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. Raging wife of Mr. Garadeb. Yeah, I can't either, Vito. We're not even worth living in society. Now, Mr. Garadeb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress that this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel is being revealed. Yeah. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garadeb's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. But Mrs. Garadeb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadeb's pain is tangible though. What could that pose of his really signify? Because he has a slap on his face. He got a big smack. Oh my, look at that bright red mark. Gosh, that's quite something. It's clearly made by somebody's hand. Yes, Mr. Garadeb has been slapped on the face, it seems hard. I've never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing? Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. Alright.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel is being revealed by that slap cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Garadeb. Joan Garadeb. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah. How the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Whoa, he's face on. Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us, even once. To keep the other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? How can she slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garadeb to fly into a rage. We only need to follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed, which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garadeb's wife. Mr. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing. Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round the face. One so hard it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. What is this bookmark? Aha! Ah, someone must have been reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look! Mr. Garadeb is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note, written in a woman's hand. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And next to the signature here, lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. This bookmark is actually a love note then.
Take that!
I love that we're correcting all his dumb logic and he's like, yes, this is totally me, I'm totally correct, yeah. Yes, this is the love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, clearly Miss Mary, is the fly in this ointment. Is the fly in this ointment here? Aww. Gah. But I don't know the bully woman. You don't know her. That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I've been saying. Ah! Sherm's strength is that he helps shed light on possibilities. His issue is that he causes him to make wrong judgment. Yeah. A likely story. Now listen here, Joan, old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and the note must have already been in there. So, the previous owner of this book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's a bit of... Ah. Video games, exactly. A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash the beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath on which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. Are you saying... No, I won't say it. He can say it. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah. This time, madame, I'm afraid it's you who has inadvertently revealed the truth for me. The wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Miss Garrett didn't eat the carpet. It wasn't even Sherms that said it, it was Susato. No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt. But the state of disarray in this room is in the result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So, this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We only need to follow Miss Garadev's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes. I'm gonna say it was the candle.
Take that!
Not even gonna inspect it, I'm just presenting right away. Yes, to explain the dire state of that carpet, we only need to look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital alteration. Miss Garadev's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, The The most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast barred its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. As you see, there's but one conclusion here. After the sparks of... Sorry. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. He's getting up. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you. Aww. Aww. We did it. Deduction complete. It is these dashed long winter nights, you know, nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material, for which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Where Watson? I don't know about admonished. Demolished might rather be the closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly... Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by fire when the candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in a blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bully thing. Was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The Bolly furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garradeb? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Oh no. Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. The wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There I was, back against the wall, under heavy empty fire. Incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite, book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. But the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. Can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage, flames everywhere, and the old stick in full fiddle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. That's the time of death! Exactly the same time. Not death, but time of the attack. As the terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole Blighty could have been flattened inside. The whole of Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, what can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garadeb's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall onto one of only two categories, those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garadeb. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Saseki-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. Prison. That's not the prison. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's hail a cat. Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in front of the Garadeb's house. Whomst? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling an old man, you rum-looking nimny-pimney? The guy on the right looks like a Professor Layton character, actually. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt in than are dreamt of in your philosophy. He does look like a bee. He's got like a striped butt. Who's this Horatio fella, eh? What do you want about? Excuse me. What the? Who are you? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Renosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? If it can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law. Fine. I'll be on my way for today. You mark my words. It ain't over yet. Get thee to a nunnery. What is a nunnery? Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? His fucking face. Where nuns live. Is that actually what it's called? I had no idea they actually had a thing called a nunnery. It's like, it's where they make the nuns. Yeah, where they hatch the nuns, exactly. I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle, thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than there are dreamt in your philosophy. Than they are dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but... Are you a lodger here? In the Garadeb residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garadeb mentions that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a palmist? More worthy a palmist in my battle of words near could there be. Ne'er could there be? Like never? Never? No, ne'er? Sorry, battle did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't truly understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden, so good gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. Cool. I don't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. Seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Soseki-san and that man as lodgers, the Garadeb house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly waiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. We're so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nipponese. Oh, now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. The fuck is this? There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand... Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. I got scared for a second. Got scared. It is there are friendships transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. Ah, oh, yes. It's you! Sholmes, get out. The miserable rotten spy, Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se. Save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how a devised friend is faring. Divested friend is faring? Gloomful room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny. Ah, you! How dare you, Herlock Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is bedamned. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean? And there is much truth to Mr. Mustache's words. What? Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. For the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Alright, what you got, sir? Mr. Natsume, what do you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me, summarize it succinctly and in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution, ever. Oh my goodness, it can't really be true. That was 16 words exactly. Aww. But also, he's not a murderer. The person hasn't died. Why would he die in this trial? Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGill did. What? Ah, I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes? Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Ziggs killed the man himself. Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. Mustache Man is doomed. Yeah, I'm scared. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Ah, of course he is? Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Want to hear about the lodgings first? Oh my god, I keep yawning. When you said accursed lodgings before, were you referring to the room at Mr. Garrideb's house, I assume? Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? Hey Arctic, Lawyer Gamer's doing good. How are you? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. I shut myself away in my room, but even then, even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times recently, to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. You good even on Mondays? How's everyone else? I'm doing well. I get my second vaccine tomorrow. So I'm keen to get that. Keen to finally get it. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops! He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him. If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place. Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I feel awake as though I'm being choked to death. Wait, does he actually have carbon monoxide poisoning? Is this actually true? And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe me? Really, no one at all? To believe, yes, to believe. I believe him. Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good. Saseki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. I love him. As you are no doubt aware, in British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means that the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, it is from time to time, my dear madame. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom. Within months, they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by a matter of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage, perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps they're attacked by highwaymen. Oh no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, I knew it. I'm a dead dodo done for doomed. Aww. Aww. Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Burya, if you recall. The Burya. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Well, yes. All that time, I was a suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes, you mean... Because you were grimly dressed. You were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. Neither recall believing in you, nor that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only thing I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what's to be believed in and what is not. I love when he stands front on like this. He looks like a fucking Danganronpa character. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. Ahahaha. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. No, Diva is cool. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, yes, he's right. He's right, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. Oh, it's her boyfriend. Why do they have to keep showing him? A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You have to feel. Vito, it makes me feel. You're so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Aww. Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Aww, please help him. Mr. Meijiworth is gone now. Aww. Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Aww. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What I believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. My instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Miss Susato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me the personal judicial assistant. Yay. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learnt to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one, he's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight in his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Yay, we finished that chapter. Yes. Let's save. Cool. Alrighty, I might have a quick break and then we can start the trial. Alright, I will be right back. I probably won't do the whole chapter of this trial. I'll see how I go. I don't know. I gotta go to bed early tonight, because I don't want to feel like shit tomorrow before I even get the vaccine. Alright, we're back. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, Vito, sorry, I went be right back as soon as you said you noticed something. What did you notice? You found out you can get jellyfish as pets, now you want one. Yeah, I've seen that before. You don't play Genshin? I haven't played Genshin for a while. They keep adding new things and I keep getting lost. I'm like, I have no idea what to do. Fucking love this music. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back? Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We're on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but... So in Ace Attorney 1, there's Mia. In this game, there's Meiji Worth. Yeah. There was a lot of parallels in that case, Vito. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but the person in the dock, it may as well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. The second defendant is some off-the-wall character. I'm trying to think of who the second defendant in Ace Attorney 1 is. But yeah, there were a lot of parallels to the first Ace Attorney game. But I don't want to spoil them because I'm not actually playing that game at the moment. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. It's Maya. Sorry, wait, who's Maya? Like, who are you comparing Maya to? Susato? Maybe. Good morning. Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. It's obvious they're both women. He's the second person you have to defend. Oh, yeah. Taxi would be the cool one? What? Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches a worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. I'm so tired, so I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. And his eyes are fucking bloodshot. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just a coincidence then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Miss Solicitor? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could to find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. Even the publications are simps for him. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of Bailey. He stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? Trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. Trial of Magnus McGilded. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. It's Ellicott. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back to the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question on papers are asking, and they're all speculating various answers. Mundane? Mundane is the most significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. Wait, are they still describing it as a murder case? I thought the victim didn't die. I thought they're just in hospital. And also, he came back for the last case, not this one. Well, lest we forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity to the trial 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhoden Esquire. It's you. Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Both times, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. She might kick the bucket at any time? Hey, what? It could only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I'm afraid that's really only one other explanation. How can the prosecutor be legendary if the legal system's so new? I think this legal system isn't new. I think this has been around for a while. Because they were talking last case about, like, really outdated, things. Like, there was this thing that you could do that turned the case around for us. And it was brought up that it's not really used anymore in court. And they're like, oh, you know, this is so old, I didn't think it was part of court proceedings kind of thing. So, like, it must be old enough. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such a frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, let's not forget. She might kick the bucket. Oh, the victim. Yeah, that's true. But I wonder how that works. Like, if someone was in court for an attempted murder, but the person was, like, in hospital in critical condition, are you allowed to be trialed until either they are, you know, better or they die? Like, what happens if you're trialed before that? Like, you'd be tried as attempted murderer, not murderer, because you technically haven't murdered them. But then what about if they die? Then you are a murderer. You are the cause of someone dying. Yeah, I wonder how that works. I guess maybe if you're found guilty with the attempted murder, if that person dies, you just be given extra sentence. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in a way of experience or skills or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight for you. I will fight your corner to the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. They update your crime and stack sentences. Yeah, I didn't know they'd do that, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, I'd not heard of them doing that, but I guess they probably do. Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Narrowhead Esquire. You're not alone with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we'll always be on your side. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant, Miss VTUBER Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way to the courtroom at once. Never seen it happen for violence or murder, but it happens to tax evasion and corruption in the past. Yeah, I just wonder, because it's like, I think it's something like, it's just because I know murder cases are very particular, because it's like, if you are found not guilty of something, you can't be tried again for it. Like, even if you are guilty, you can't be tried again, I'm pretty sure. Like, you've already been deemed not guilty. Here, our legal system's different. Yeah, it depends per country. At least that's what I thought about murder trials. Like, I think once you're tried for something, you can't be tried again unless it's a different crime, like a different, different case. So then it's like, if you were found, you know, guilty of attempted murder, but then the person dies later on in hospital, can that be stacked upon you later as being a murderer? Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yes? This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. Stop showing him! Stop it! Stop it! And I feel very far over my VTuber. Move across slightly. There we go. I keep showing him. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time I won't let my faith waver. I believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Vito, I hate you. The Old Bailey. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Order, order. Now I will call upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. He is a fucking vampire. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. Order, order. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you're a student who lived in London, but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Yeah, that was bad, Diva. That was bad. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. I hate you! All of a sudden, I hate you. Fuck. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is the appropriate description. Susure-san. After all, our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. All of us just hate him. Very true, and most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end. It's definitely blood, Vito. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry on your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Ah, he's back! You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I don't trust her being on the jury. I don't trust her. Is this allowed? Is she allowed to be part of the jury? It's blood of minorities? No! That's terrible. Oh, I don't like the idea that she is part of the jury. No, but it's a bad joke, I'm saying pump flop. I'm afraid to say I think it's possible that mustached foreigner did the deed. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. It's that, it's the old guy from Naughty, whatever his name is. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student of that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime. I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst, bloody oath they are. Look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Oh, I hate everyone. Oh, why? Why? Just when I thought, like, they kind of turned it back a little bit, they fucking bring it all back. Fuck. Come on, let's get it over with. With me, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in peace. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events in this case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. Yeah, he is our gumshoe. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose. I see. But her life is not in danger. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. You are correct, Diva. Gumshoe is a himbo, and I love him. As mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. Gumshoe in the live-action movie is just... I love him. You're beautiful. Vito, I hate you. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Live action movie. Yeah, there's a live action Ace Attorney movie. It's really good. I enjoy it. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently been treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. The movie came before the anime. This is the case file with everyone we know about the victim so far. Must be on some streaming service. In Australia, it was on Anime Lab, but I have no idea about anywhere else. It's a fun movie. Like, I think they did quite well for a live action Ace Attorney. I give you a warning though, it does spoil the last case of the second game. Just in like a cutscene, not a cutscene, in like one scene. That I think that's the maximum you'd need to play. Yeah, it's directed by Takashi Miike. So he did like Ichi the Killer and stuff like that. So like it's really interesting. Yeah, like it's basically one scene, but like as soon as you see that character in the game, you'll go, oh, it's this guy that did it, because you've seen it in the movie. So yeah, play the game, finish the second game first. Otherwise, there's one scene in the Ace Attorney movie we'll spoil that for you. We'll spoil who did it. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. Nah, they only did one movie. The case file has been entered to the court record. What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ouch, that big thing's starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scraggly-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. Common or garden jackknife. Jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Is there an Ace Attorney game where you have to prove someone is guilty? Well, we are a defense attorney, so we don't really prove people are guilty, but I won't say which game or which case it is, but there is a case where we are defending a investigations. I can't remember the cases in investigations, to be honest. I've only ever played that one once. But there is one Ace Attorney case that I can just recall right now that we are defending the person who did it. He does sort of in the first game. Does he, Danikon? Oh, yeah, he, yeah, we always tend to find out who actually did it, but we don't actually... Like, I'm assuming Nova means that we're like, I don't know. I guess like every case you prove someone's guilty, but basically I think Nova is asking like, is there a case where we aren't defending someone, I guess? Part of proving a client's innocence, yeah. Like, I guess the last case in this game, like the case that we just did in this game, we didn't actually find out who did it. So we never actually caught the villain of that one. Like, for sure. Not necessarily veto. Like, you can prove someone's innocent with enough evidence, but you don't always find out. Like, in real court, you probably don't always find out who did it. And I'm assuming basically everyone we discover who did it in Ace Attorney has their own trial. But we're not part of it because we're not defending them. Because no one would defend them because they're pretty guilty. And usually admit they did it. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Jackknife has been entered to the court record. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume. From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment towards the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. Even if we find a guilty party, we're still defending the client. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is, yeah, like, we often find and prove someone's guilty, but it's only for the purpose of proving our client innocent. It's basically the reason why we do it. But in the case of Nova's question, there is one case where we prove that our client did it. But I will never say what game or what case or anything. But there is one situation that happens. At the moment of time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. If theft and grievance had been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Oh god. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. He just fucking hit someone. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. He does like breaking things. But for it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. Danganronpa is basically what you were talking about. Yeah, I guess... Yeah, I guess you kind of do that in every case. You do find out who did it. You do prove that they did it, kind of thing. Yeah. Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the Constabulary, I can't say that, came to arrest the Nipponese student. Dragon Rompers is so weird. I do love the ding dang diddly rompers. I think it's fun. Yes, sir. Constabulary. Thank you. Mr. Natsume's arrest. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor, those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found a bloke to arrest him. The executions are just too elaborate for them to be prepared from the fly. They probably have an execution for everyone besides the mastermind in the game. So, old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident. Yes, as you can see, the books to which you are referring. I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector. Crime scene photograph has been entered to the court record. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Why is he suddenly fucking like this? Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sito? Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, all I could make out was a sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, he suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed on the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. A green overcoat? Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What would the world come up with next? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of the terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Mr. Natsume's arrest. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. What evidence do we have? We got the map, we got receipt, books that he purchased from a secondhand bookshop. Look at that. Sum of 2 shillings. Actually, Calabash Road, Meerschaum Street. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound in the back. Olive green, female, stout build, early 20s, pavement of Briar Road. Officer Rolly Beat. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleamed from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant I have an idea. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other... I have a fucking idea. No other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Save the game. Thank you, Vito. I will in just a second. Got a tip missing. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip. Please, just the tip, Mr. Naruhodo. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susato. Wonder what could have happened to it. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful. You wanna imagine it looks like a shark? Reminded you of Blood Dragon when they do a stealth kill and the guy's like, just the tip. Oh god. Alright, I will save for you, Vito. Alright. Theory. I have a theory. You guys want to hear it? I kind of liked making theories in the other games. So I'll say it. Okay. So, the victim, they don't know who she is besides based on her belongings with her name in it. So we don't know who she is. You have a theory too? I'll say mine. I think taking theories from other people, like... Yeah, I'd rather not hear them because in case they're correct... Like, it's kind of inadvertently a spoiler, if that makes sense. So I'm happy saying mine because I'm the one playing it. But yeah, like, I probably won't take other people's theories just in case it hits a bit too close. Your theory is this is actually how Taxi died. I was stabbed on Briar Road with just the tip. Okay, so we don't know who the victim is. We only guessed her name based on her belongings. But we got the guy upstairs who has that love letter thing. And we know that his wife is angry. She angy. Right? What about if she did it? She did it to her because she is the... We don't have the love letter in our possession, but like it had a name or something on it. What about if that is her? What about if that is her? But also, wait, no, that doesn't work. It says she's in her early 20s. That doesn't work. If she wasn't in her early 20s, what about if she was the wife? Because the wife's photo had like, it was damaged so you couldn't see the wife's face. If that makes sense. But no, if she's in her early 20s, I don't think she'd be married by now. Maybe. Not to a veteran guy. Alright. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way home. Sorry, over a bookshop it seems. It's just a matter of working out who the books belong to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Alright. Now, can we see what the titles are from this photo? We can't. We'll just press something.
Hold it!
From behind, you say? That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. As you say, this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in critical condition, comatose no less. I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's. I was hopeful that she'd come round before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been the most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events. Luck's on your client's side, it seems. Blap. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your forced tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Hold it!
Mr. Natsume's belongings? I think you'll find it's all on the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would be free to wield a knife, for example. He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there. You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? He's got fucking fish and chips in court. Fucking, I want fish and chips. That must be what happened, my lord, yes. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way back home from the bookshop.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. You just want the chips? I would love chippos. A shop full of old English literature. Commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The bloke's room is stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Fries. Bad. Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look in the street map again, I'm afraid. God, I posted a TikTok clip of one of the streams where I had like I think I still have them. Are they still here? No, I don't think I have them anymore. I had like some Macca's chips and a burgie and a drink, and I was pretending to eat them on stream. And you don't have TikTok? You're a boomer now. I'm a fucking boomer. I only made it to fucking promote Twitch. Yeah, so like I was like, you know, oh, like I can eat these chips, and like all the comments are like, what the fuck are chips? And I'm like, oh, fuck off. all your Americans criticizing my vocabulary. I guess it's only Britain and Australia who call them chips, but I don't know what everywhere else calls them. fries though. Like, fries are a specific kind of chip. Fries are like the thin ones. But it was just really funny that like all these people were getting like up at the word that I used. I was like, okay, I can deal with it. You guys never heard anyone speak besides people around you. There's a secondhand bookshop to the accused lodgings. Is this place here? Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road on the opposite end. Call everything Batata Frida? Frida? Oh? You don't even speak English, you have your Oompa Loompas here to translate for me. Means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Wait, that's not where he went. I don't think it was called Bourbon Books. Something like this. Local map with information updated to the court record. I don't think that was what it was called in the receipt. Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being... I'm pretty sure its name was something else. Your books. That's right. They fucking went to speak to the bookshop to find out who bought the books. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh, well, you know. I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue. Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. I always love this, where they're like, oh, I don't see what this has to do with anything, but I will add it anyway. And it's like, yes, I don't see why we should add this, but yes, please add it. And then immediately you're like, here, take this. And you're like, why do you make such a big deal about it? Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say. Could the man be any more sardonic? No, Diva is cool. Alright.
Objection!
Objection. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books. Your Books. Y-O-R-E, I presume. Yes, my lord. So, Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at the second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Fuck you, Alucard, respectfully. No, fuck him disrespectfully. I don't like him. You can get fucked. Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection!
Van Ziegs. Van Ziegs is Alucard. So he looks like fucking a vampire. But in fact, that is the bookshop with the defendant visited that day in question. Yeah, fuck him. And this receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference it makes? Whether the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference to the final analysis. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have a street map here, if that might help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. The defendant had been returning home bourbon books. Then yes, it would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true? My, it rather depends on where this bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir, what you just said? Absolutely, it absolutely could be right. Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out Your Books is just here on the corner of Meerschaum Street, going east. Local maps information has been updated in the court record. And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. No. Oh. A learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown the way he regales us with such witticisms. Alucard is Disney backwards. To your future career at the circus. You put that glass down now, or put it down for you. I don't think we need to spell it out, but here we go. Yeah, he called us clowns. The accused was coming home from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books. There's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Thank you, Inspector. Is going between this last case too. Yeah, he's kind of just been on the edge. Like, from the start, I was like, I feel like he's not gonna be a good character. Like, you'll be simpin'. You'll be simpin'. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Stop destroying things. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Ah. As I suspect, you can't fool me, and don't suggest I try. What did I say, eh? Not enough of... I've had enough of this show. Beg your pardon? Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Fuck off, Vader. Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty. Ah, she's absolutely right. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. They claim Saseki-san must have passed the location of this incident on the way home from Your Books, but I'm gonna save. Sure, we can object. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. I'm returning from Your Books to do his lodgings. Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, it isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. It arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Talking back to a clown is Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that it's almost 10. That route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. You have to go to the airport. Be back later. I'll probably be finished by the time you get back, Vito. But thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take the longer route home? Running from the cops again. Well, answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and the obvious perpetrator of this is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. But, aha, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I don't believe this. Thank you, my learned friend. And suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors? But even if that's the case, the defense still... Ah. I agree with Lord Van Zeeks. Wholeheartedly and in every way. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean... We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all the members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Did they do this last time? Like with voices?
Guilty.
Did they give him voices last time? I don't remember that. Interesting. It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. Mr. Naruhodo. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales in the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of Quarry not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights against this again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his unctuous refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Alright. Before we get started on this, I might actually call it for the night, because like I said, my throat's actually kind of sore from Amy's last night. Doing cheers and stuff, and then talking loudly. So I might actually save it. I think my throat has been done for today. Yeah, I'm fine, Diva. Just yeah, I don't want to push it too far. I'm kind of feeling it now. Feeling a little croaky actually. Been a regular length stream. Yeah, I'm happy stopping there, I think, for now. Alright, we should find someone to raid. And I also have a vaccine tomorrow, so I want to go to bed early. Thanks for stream. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Alright, who we got online? Oh, Traz is on. We can send you to Traz again. He's playing Wonder Boy. Is he on a boss? It doesn't look like it. You want to suss it out for me? If you think it's fine? If he's on a boss, I can find someone else. But it just looks like a level. He just died anyway. Should be okay? Alright. Yeah, everyone copy taxi raid beep beep when we go through. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I am unsure of tomorrow night. I'm gonna try and stream, but I'm getting a vaccine, so I might feel shit by evening time. We'll see. We'll see how we go. If not, Friday. Friday, I am probably going to actually stream. Make sure to check Discord. Yeah. I'll definitely announce if I'm not feeling up to it. Yeah, so Friday, I'm thinking of streaming Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, seeing as like there's only 2 Fridays left of October, so I'm like, I gotta do something spooky. So I might play that. I might play that on Friday. Yeah. Alright. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.